Hello, everybody. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Alright, so, every time I do this, I really want to get back into producing more videos, but I don't know, I just get so caught up in work and all that stupid stuff, so. But anyhow, hey, now that I've released a book, I have just, it's like, come on, Baxter. I'm able to, I was able to relive my Appalachian Trail through hike by writing. And then once people started getting the book and we started having conversations, I just get this tug on me. And it's like, if I could go back out there tomorrow, I would absolutely go back out there tomorrow. If I could, but I can't. So I won't. But trying to stay connected, I still do a lot of little hikes. I just don't document them. So I think to stay engaged, this is part of staying engaged with the community and really kind of living what I really enjoy doing. So I'm not saying that this is another kickoff, but maybe this is another kickoff of maybe being more consistent at doing or staying connected and doing more videos to bring something to those of you that enjoy this sort of content. So, because I enjoy making content, I enjoy sharing what I'm doing, because I know there's so many that some cannot do it. That's another day. That's always another day, right? Anyhow, so let's get to it. I am at Geode State Park in just outside of Burlington, Iowa. And we got Baxter. And he's super excited. So we are going to go ahead and make this loop. It's about a 7.5 mile loop around the lake. Okay? Now this morning we went out and did about 3 miles at another area, another trail, and I'll have to do another video on that trail. So, but I think what I want to do is something a little bit different. A lot of the same as far as the content itself, but maybe do a review of where I'm at and provide information of said park or trail. So for Geode State Park, like I said, in Burlington, Iowa, 7.5 miles around. We'll talk a little bit more about the park itself and that sort of thing. So they have campgrounds here, but there's like a couple of like backpacking, I don't even say backpacking sites, but I don't know. It's not a place where I personally would backpack and stay the night, because it seems like that everywhere, as I've already hiked this once before, and in those campsites you can hear cars going down the highway, stuff like that. So you guys, for those of you that follow me and watch all my videos, know that I like to feel like I'm deep in the woods. So I did find another park on the Illinois side that they don't have backpacking sites per se. They have some drive-to sites, and maybe one or two of them you gotta walk 100 yards. So that's a little better, but it's difficult to find any backpacking sites in this area. So I'll take what I can get. But I just need to take time to look beyond an hour and a half. One of these weekends I may go ahead and go to Garden of the Gods. It's a few hour drive, but it would probably be worth it. So anyway, that's kind of just a little intro of what we got going on and my thoughts. So let's get to the trail, all right? First mile in, we're back here a little bit. We passed a pavilion, or picnic shelter, as they may call it. There's obviously a fire that went through here at one point. It didn't hit all the trees, but I think that must have been confined to this spot and a couple other spots. But anyhow, so pavilions or the day use picnic shelter. At Geode State Park there are 5 of those and should be reserved. You got the kind of lake bottom right here. And then so those are day use type things, and then they have down at the beach, there's a beach house that's open aired that also can host parties, picnics, gatherings of sort. I've talked a little bit about camp spots. There are a few dispersed camping, but mostly in the campground area, but they're on the outskirts of it. More of a rustic feel to those. And again, it's real close to all the campers and things like that. So, but there are a little over 160, about 167 camp spots. About 80 of those, approximately, are electric for campers, things like that. And then others, non-electric, about the other half for obviously still campers. People just don't need electricity. Also tent sites through there as well. So there's quite a few campsites, but the park itself, just when you think you're kind of alone out here, you think you're kind of back in, all of a sudden a car drives up within like 50 yards. That just happened to me. And it's like feeling like I'm back in here a little further. Hey, that's not where the trail is at, Baxter. You've been chasing squirrels like crazy. We're trying to. Yanks on me. Speaking of squirrel. But anyhow, yeah, so I just felt like it's quiet out here. haven't seen anybody, and all of a sudden a car drives up. And then of course there was a couple back there at the pavilion. I suspect they're out either hiking or mushroom hunting. It is morel season. I've been dabbling a little bit and looking for morels. I've probably spent on the past couple weeks at least an hour, maybe 2, and I've come up with nothing. So I'm not here for the hike, not for the hunt. Especially with Baxter. Yeah, he's impatient, not looking for mushrooms. So, but anyhow, we'll I suspect when it's really wet, that fills up pretty quick and runs down to the lake. I've been coming across a few of these now, so I'm actually going the other direction from when I went the first time, and I'm really liking it. Well, of course, I like the other way as well, but hey, yucky, come on. I don't know what you smell it, but it's yucky.
It's DJ.
You can get some.
Alrighty, everybody. Alright, so saw a boat ramp there, and some docks, a couple of docks, but there are. So Geode State Park has 2 boat ramps, and that are dedicated specifically for putting boats in the water. However, canoes, kayaks, things like that. There's a couple others, and a person probably could get in anywhere that they're portaging. And they do have an ADA compliant dock for kayakers. And I guess that could be for canoe as well. So yeah, look at that. I want to hike down in there. Anyhow, so the lake is 150 acres. So it's fairly small, but nice enough. Lots of fishermen. Probably saw at least a dozen people fishing out there. As far as the boat capacity, I don't know that. I guess I probably could have looked it up, but the speed limit on the lake is 5 miles per hour, so that's not much. Look at this trail. Yeah. Rocky. Lots of roots. Coming right down to the lake, it looks like. So let's give you a little bit of that. Oh, the smell in here is absolutely phenomenal. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Wow. So there is quite the diversity of trees in here. However, mostly hardwoods. We got magnolias in here. We got oaks and hickory. Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up. Actually, looked back when I said mouse. No. And it houses the largest sycamore in the state. I wonder where that's at. I had to track that down. Because I didn't really say where it was at, but anyhow, but the smell, so the magnolias that I have in here are the tulip magnolias. I honestly don't know what that is, but I was talking to a guy back there, and that's his favorite tree he's telling me about. So there's something that's been sitting there for a while. Hey, is there any mushrooms? No, the guy back there I was just talking to, he's out hunting mushrooms, but he's already found over the weekend nearly 20 pounds of oyster. I don't know much about mushrooms, but I didn't think those came out quite yet, but what do I know? I'm not a mushroom connoisseur. My son is, kind of, but I know that those mushrooms on there are poisonous. I do know, pretty much know what's poisonous and what's not. So, and then of course, if I question anything, I just go to the app, right? Anyway, more about Geode State Park. Geode State Park was founded in 1937, and it was 1,650 acres, if I recall. And of course, they turned it into a state park. But that's what state parks do. They buy up a bunch of land in the best places to hang out and turn it into a state park, and then charge us to come in, don't they? Actually, they do not. Okay, why am I looking for mushrooms? Because I see trees you told me to look for. Chances are pretty good that all those mushrooms are gone. Okay, back. Focus! Squirrel! So Wisconsin state parks do not charge you to come in and visit. They just charge for camping, things like that. Same thing with Illinois. I noticed that they don't charge you a day pass or a yearly pass, anything like that. They just hit you with camping. But one thing that bothers me about Illinois, and it's just, got to get used to it, right? Adapt. Is if you want to camp, even on back sites, backcountry campsites, things like that, you have to reserve that 3 days in advance. So, and this has happened to me a couple times, and why I fell for it a second time, I don't know, but I did. I arrived the day of. There was nobody out there. There was nobody camping out there for a backcountry campsite, because there was no. I say that because there's no vehicles. I couldn't get anybody. They didn't have a place to go into, so I called. Tried to reserve it, and I couldn't reserve it. And it showed everything was full or not available. Anyway, I called and, oh, here, we got a fight coming up. Hey, Baxter, stand back. Yeah. I did not know bicycles could be on here. I know now. Anyhow, where were we? Oh, not available. None of them. There's like 8 of them. There's no vehicles anywhere in that park. Anyway, talked to the gal, and she said that I had to reserve it 3 days in advance. And I'm like, well, is it available now? And she goes, well, not for tonight, it's not. I says, I don't see anybody out here. She goes, well, we block them out if they haven't been reserved. And it's like, so even if nobody's staying, the night at any of these, I can't pay to get one. She goes, nope. It's a weird system. You'd think they'd take what they could get. You'd think they'd take my $8. Anyway, so I do have to plan Illinois camping a little bit differently than most places. So anyway, all right. Well, I think we're going to be coming up to the road soon. It's a sketchy crossing on a highway, and I got to walk down the highway maybe a quarter mile. And it's kind of a sketchy thing. You'll see it. Sketchy road walk. All right, so now we're coming down to the water here. Remember down there? Now I'm not sure when rattlesnakes come out. The sun's in there. But apparently this place has a problem with rattlesnakes. Probably shouldn't let my dog go in the water. And the area in which they have problems with them is right here. Well, maybe not right there, but I would suspect they could possibly be right there as well. But let's go ahead and go over to that area, in which I'll show you. Here, let's get rid of my ugly look. All right, so these areas here have rattlesnakes. Now, like I said, I don't know if they're out quite yet. We don't want to find out. It goes all the way around into these rocks. That trail goes up to a parking lot up there. This fire pit there. Oh, a camping area. Baxter, come on. All right, let's just go ahead and get on. I'm not even quite sure that we're halfway yet. Better get on it. Cool bridge. We could go that way where Baxter's going. Hey, where are you going? Let's go this way. Let's go across the bridge. Let's go this way. Baxter's a little sketchy of bridges. He might want a drink of water. It is kind of nice to have the hike around water, because that way I ain't got to stop and pull out the water in his dish so he can get a drink of water. Anyhow, so yeah, we'll I'm not quite sure, like I said, I'm not sure I'm halfway yet, but you know, whatever. What are you doing? You don't need anything in there. Come on, get a drink, let's go. Are you done? He found mud. The last time we were out here, it was warmer than it is now, but he actually laid down in the mud and Started rolling around and getting all muddy, just cooling his chest off and tack all got muddy and everything. But all right, let's go, buddy. We got to get a move on. Oh, it's kind of a cool washout up there. Anyhow, so yeah, that crossing back there, across the highway, or down across the dam, I should say. No, we're going this way, but a little sketchy as we come in that direction, because there's that tight turn there. Step out on that road, cars coming too fast. Could be a bad situation. However, I've driven that to see what it was like. It's a tight turn, but there's also a sign telling you to slow down, that there's a trail crossing there. So it's like 20 mile an hour, 15 mile an hour maybe. I forgot what it was. It's been a few months since I drove by there. So now we're gonna get the move on. Oh, I was gonna let you know that, so I'm gonna be like 11 miles for the day. Not all in one shot, had a few hours in between. Like I said, we did that 3 this morning. Hey, that's the wrong way. That's not a trail. And then this one's just about 7.5, 8, depending on, there's a couple different trails you can take that might give you a little bit longer, but it's a nice trail, well maintained. The elevation gain's only about 800, or less than 800, last I checked, unless a mountain grew. So there's a lot of ups and downs, but they're all fairly short. So anyhow, let's give you some trail time. Coming to an end here. We've got maybe a half mile to go. That'll be pretty close to 11 miles for the day. That includes the 3 miles this morning, 2 miles a little bit. I don't know, I walked around Menards for a few minutes. Maybe that's in there too. All right, so yeah, we're about there. I'll come down here. I think there's lots of people fishing. I don't know if you can see them over there, but people fishing over there. That's about where the beach is at. Just on the other side of that is the beach. That puts us. Can you get a drink of water? Oh, gross. You don't want to drink that water. There's a dead fish right there. Look at that. I got some fresh water for you, Baxter. Come on. But yeah, so ran into a couple more hikers. So that was only 2 hikers. I saw. I'm not going to count those fishermen right there, but there was two guys fishing on the trail, right off the trail there. In the beginning, there was that biker. And 2 folks I just ran into here about 30 minutes ago, hiking. And that was it. It was actually not very many people at all here. So I suspect it does get busier. I don't know, beautiful day. I don't even know if it reached 70 degrees. But it was nice little breeze through the trees. But yeah, I am ready for this to be done. I'm not in shape for that many miles quite yet. And I think there's more than 800 foot of elevation gain, but that's neither here or there. It doesn't matter. So, well, actually, we're done. We're done. Look at this. This is the parking lot that takes, it's a pretty steep ramp right here. So, and no, we're not going that way, buddy. I'll show you this ramp. There's the ramp right there, and then right down there is the ADA accessible for kayaks, canoes, whatnot. So yeah, we're done. Look at the size of this parking lot. This place must get pretty busy, because that is a big parking lot for such a small lake. But you know, I guess if you get 50 boats on that lake with trailers, whatnot. And then you can kind of see they got a campground, or I mean a playground over there. Here, let's do it this way. So you got a playground over there, and then you got shower house type place, and then the sheltered picnic area. Got a porta potty over there too. You gonna get a mouse? Get a mouse? He's always chasing mice. He's got mice, squirrels like crazy in there. But yeah, he likes to chase mice too. So, but anyway, you guys, I am going to go ahead and get off here. It's been fun doing this video for y'all, and just kind of taking you along on the hike itself, and then of course providing some information about Geode State Park and what my review of the trail is like. Just a little information for those of you that may make it to Geode State Park. You get a glimpse through the window of what it might be like to hike the trail around the lake. So you guys, thank you. If look at all this garbage. It's horrible. If you have not yet subscribed, please do, and share with your friends. No, get out of the garbage. And I appreciate you guys tuning in, and hit that like button, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.